Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. Today is release day for the June pattern of the month. So we're halfway through our table toppers of the month. If you're new to my channel, you can go back and see all the videos. I have them here on a playlist. This is actually our 4th year of doing the monthly quilt and stitch alongs, so we're having a lot of fun. If you missed any of the previous ones, go check them out. We did a truck of the month series. That was the first one. We did a house of the month series. Last year we did a pillow of the month, and then this year we are doing the table toppers of the month. So these are a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying them. Today, like I said, is June, and we're just gonna dive right in. Before I show the patterns though, I did want to mention that you can still get the June sticker pack of the month. We have some of these still available in our store, so go back and check those out. I have a different sticker pack for each month. They are all a little bit different, but they are all sewing themed. So if you missed any of our stickers of the month, go back into my store and check those out. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our stitchy version for June. So here is our June chart. I love the little cherries, and I've done cherries for June for the last couple of projects, and I love them so much. They're just so cute and fun. So I did 4 little groupings of cherries here. I have the red and the pink, and I think it looks really cute. And then I do also have 2 different colors of green on there just to give it a little dimension. You can use whatever colors you like, of course. When you get the chart actually comes with 2 charts. It comes with a chart for just the individual month's piece if you want to do that, or it also comes with the whole chart if you want to stitch on the whole chart like I am. And so I went ahead, you can see here, and I stitched my white outer border so that I was ready, and then each month I can just fill in that motif as I go, and it's just really easy. So the border took the longest just because I did that all, it took me a couple of days to do the border, but then at night I can just sit down and do one of these in like an evening, or depending on how much time you have and your skill level. I will say that all the patterns for this are beginner friendly, and I also have a how to cross stitch series on my YouTube channel you can check out. It covers supplies and everything from how to make that very first stitch to how to make a few other stitches like back stitches or quarter stitches. This is a back stitch, but I don't think I have any quarter stitches in this one. I could be wrong about that, but either way, they're very easy to do, and I do have tutorials for all of that. But these are really great beginner-friendly projects. So if you're interested in getting into cross-stitch, these little monthly guys are super fun. You can do just one, or you can stitch along with me and do the whole thing as well. And I do have these released individually on my store right now. And then at the end, when we have all 12 months released, I will bundle them up and put them into a PDF and print format so you can get all 12 months together. And they probably will be a little bit discounted as opposed to buying the individual pattern. So just keep that in mind as we're going through this stitch along. But here is the June stitch along. Let's go ahead and take a look at the June Quilty. So the Quilty version is probably one of my favorites. I love cherries. It's so much fun, and this one is super cute. Now I did originally have these all in pink and red like I did on the stitchy version, but then my daughter came in and she was like, Mom, you should add some of that blue in there. And I thought, you know what, blueberries and cherries would be super cute. So that's what I did, and I'm so glad she suggested it. I used all scraps for this, so it's all leftovers from the different lines that I've put out so far. So the cherries are from my So Quilty line. The blue, this one is from my So Quilty line, but this one is actually from my Harvest line that was put out last year. And then I think the rest of these are from my So Quilty line. And then for the backing, I did that fabric as well. But let's go ahead and take a quick look. So it has those cherry blocks, but again, I added the blue, so we have blueberries and cherries, and then I just turned the blocks in alternating directions just to make it kind of fun and unique. For the border, I just did a flying geese border with these little cornerstones, and I think it turned out so cute. Now, one of the tips I have for this border, whenever you're doing border strips like that have several pieces together, especially flying geese because they can get a little wonky, my tip is to use some either fabric starch or Mary Ellen's Best Press. Now, because I'm using my scraps, most of those are not starched. If I'm doing a whole quilt and I want to starch, I will pull out the big gallon bottle of Stay Flow, or I think they actually changed their name now to Linnet, but I will like full on starch all that fabric before I cut it up. That makes it just a lot easier when you're doing a whole quilt. But if I'm doing a smaller project like this one where it's just little pieces and I don't need whole big pieces starched, I will usually use Mary Ellen's Best Press, but this time I actually tried something new. So I'm going to share that with you today. And this one is called Acorn Fabric Treatment. And it's supposedly an all natural fabric treatment. It comes with, I just got the sample kit, so it comes with a little bottle. This was a 16-ounce bottle, and it comes with the continuous spray mister. The continuous spray mister is super nice. I really like this because it puts out a more fine stream, and it's the continuous spray, which means when you pull on this, I don't want to do it right now because, you know, but when you pull on the lever here, it just does a nice continuous spray, and you can spray for a little bit before you have to pull the lever again. So it's a really nice way to cover your fabric, get good, nice, even coverage, and it's also great for smaller pieces of fabric like the one that we're doing today. Okay, sorry for the costume change. My mic just cut out unexpectedly, so I'm having to refilm this. But one thing I did want to mention is that the Acorn is a little bit pricey. This kit right here was about $30, but it did come with the pump and then a 16-ounce bottle of refill. The gallon, if I purchase it again, and I probably will, is about $60. So I do sort of reserve this for when I'm working on smaller pieces that need a heavier starch. Otherwise, I use my Mary Ellen's Best Press. This is more of a fabric sizing, so it's not super stiff starch, but it will give you some extra hold. This one is actually really stiff. It's almost as though you like full on starched your fabric, but it's just a spray. So it's really cool. It's a great alternative, and I will use this in the future. So those are my tips for working with small pieces, and I do that with all of my projects. But here's our June topper. And then on the back, I used some of my leftover backing from my So Quilty line. And I did have to piece this together because I was working with leftover strips, like I said, so I do have a seam running right here down the middle, but that's not a big deal at all. You're gonna have a seam on your larger quilts too, and I like to just use up whatever scraps I can. As a matter of fact, sometimes I'll even make these backs just super scrappy just so that I have a backing, and as a table topper or a little mini wall hanging, it doesn't really matter. For the binding on that, I used the blue floral for my So Quilty line, and then here is my little personalized label. I get those from everemblem.com. She has a variety of different kinds of labels, and I'm trying to be a lot better about labeling all of my project, even my small ones. All right, so that is it for our June release. I hope you're having fun with the cherries. You can make these any colors you like, so if you don't want to do the blueberries, you could do pink, or you could do all red cherries. My tester did all red. So there's a lot of different options with these little toppers. I hope you're enjoying this sew along series. I will put a link on where you can get that acorn starch and my toppers, and my playlist is here on YouTube if you missed any of our toppers, because we are already in June. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you're enjoying this series. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video. What's up?
There's a snake. I needed you to open the door and help me so I can keep an eye on it. I don't know where it went.
What kind of snake?
I think it's a bull snake, but it's big.
Okay, give me like 2 seconds. Go get Paul, because he'll have his stick plus his bucket. Make sure it's a bull snake. So anyways, that is my little tip for these smaller pieces.